Oh, you're doing such a good job.
Hi, everybody.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Knockout Sessions. A very important one, a very loaded one, a very red one.
Oh, dude.
Shout out to all my tanksexuals.
Welcome to all the new subscribers, guys. Julio's been doing a lot of heavy lifting lately. And started fucking doing his job.
That's the most backhanded compliment I've ever heard. All condescending.
How's your weekend?
I'm very hungover. I just came back from the Canelo fight.
Yes.
Very great indeed. Julio unfortunately couldn't make it because he, had loyalties here.
He was stuck in the rat race.
Mm-hmm. I was doing the ultimate sacrifice for my brethren. However, it was worth it because we got to see Canelo versus Munguia.
Mm-hmm.
Which, what'd you think?
No. What did you think?
I mean, it went the way that I think almost everybody thought it would go. I don't think we, respects to Munguia.
I'll say this. We'll take a turn. Grade it and tell me why it's that great. You go first.
Ooh.
I think it was a solid B.
Ooh.
And I'll tell you why. It's easy. Because I feel that Canelo actually had a lot of respect for Munguia, so he left him off the hook.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you guys agree that he could have finished him on the 4th round when he dropped him. Or it was like the 10th and 12th round where he like rocked him again. Yeah, it was just respect, and I think it's because he's gonna sign him.
He doesn't want to damage his future goods.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's his future investment.
I could honestly see things going that way.
It's almost like whooping your friend's ass before he's your best friend, but because you know what, we're gonna get along one day.
Yeah. But does Canelo still have it? Still seems like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he still has the ring IQ to still compete. You know what I'm saying? Like, based on Munguia's performance, like, it's hard for me to believe a lot of the other top guys will have an easy time finishing him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still think Munguia is like a Ryan. Like, Ryan's here to fucking fight, and he will at least bring the fight to whoever steps in the ring with him. That's what we saw with, like, a Devin Haney. So it's like, now that Munguia lost, to someone elite, I don't know, like, you put him there against Berlanga, I think he smacks Berlanga. You put Munguia in there. What?
Continue.
Okay.
Continue.
You put Munguia in there against a Boo Boo. I think he smacks Boo Boo. I agree. The only one that right now I think they might give him a little bit of a tricky fight would easily be Plant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But or if Benavidez stops hiding from Munguia,
Yeah.
Munguia and Benavidez, let's run it. That'd be a fucking real fun fight.
That's what Julio's been waiting to hear.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think that
what grade did you give it first?
Oh, my grade? I think I'll give it maybe like a B plus, A minus, because I think that Munguia really showed up to fight. Mm-hmm. Like, we saw major improvements in Munguia's game. Like, he was taking this fight very seriously. Yeah. Like, something that I saw immediately was Munguia's defense was very much improved. He wasn't just blocking the punches with his face. Mm-hmm. A lot more output. He was fast. He was really fast.
Not according to Canelo. Canelo said he was slow.
Hey, Canelo's a veteran of this game, so But he had a great first 3 rounds. I think for the uninitiated, those first 3 rounds were like, oh, Canelo's cooked. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think he's a little B plus, maybe A minus. Mm-hmm. And then for sure Munguia's stocks went up. Canelo did what he had to do to win. I do agree that he maybe gave Munguia a little too much respect, but like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's because he wants to use him as a future investment.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall solid. I think that Canelo's starting to show the adjustments he's gonna make going forward, because he's kind of reaching the end of his career now. So he's kind of mixing up his style a little bit more. He's not fighting the way that we're used to seeing him.
Yeah, because he even like Eddie Reynoso was telling him in the corner, like, hey, you got to be careful with him. Like, this kid is still dangerous. He's still dangerous. Like, don't just go in there and be sloppy. You know what I'm saying? Even Eddie was showing respect to Munguia. You know, but I don't know, Julio. Let's hear it, because obviously you've flip flopped and you're against Canelo. So
I'm a fan of boxing.
We're here to hear the other side of the story, because obviously we're too biased over here to fucking say something. But before you say it, I will say this though. I think Munguia also showed a real weakness that Bivol originally showed. Munguia has success. And if he does ever give Benavidez the opportunity to fight, Benavidez can probably execute on, which was Canelo started getting pressured with all those fucking volume punches. You saw some real fucking flaws there that, you know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to say that Benavidez has more power than Munguia, because they have very similar styles where they don't really have one punch knockout power. It's a volume of punches. Yeah. But it goes both ways. Canelo needed someone like Munguia, and maybe this was the plan all along from Eddie Reynoso, that he wanted Canelo to get in there with a similar style to Benavidez to really see how he needs to perfect his craft to fight Benavidez. Yeah. But the same way Benavidez is like, Bivol showed it, Munguia executed it a little bit. Benavidez has an opening there to potentially overwhelm Canelo with those fucking volume of punches.
Yeah, I agree. I said it off camera. I think that the Munguia fight is definitely kind of like a blueprint to give Canelo an idea of how he could possibly beat Benavidez. To a degree, mostly because of the similarities that they have in their style. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, I mean, Julio's been real quiet this whole time.
He's been doing this lately. I hate it.
Whatever. Because you hate it that I do it. Yeah. So I give this fight an A-. Because I feel like everybody in this night, on that night, came out as a winner, in a sense. Realistically, Canelo came out as still a dominant champion. Still showed that he's very much a live dog, even at 33.
But can I ask you something, Coach? Please?
Ask away.
So, we kind of missed out on this conversation because Julio, again, has a hard time doing his job and uploading videos sometimes. But last time, Julio said, his words, and I'll find the clip just to put it in this clip. Julio said, if Canelo does not knock out Munguia, he's done. Right? You're my witness. You were here.
I was.
He said, I will not be impressed with Canelo if he can't find a way to knock out Munguia. This fight don't mean shit, blah, 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 whatever the fuck he said. So let me ask you, Coach, how did you feel about Canelo's victory? Because he did what I said he was going to do, which was go to 12 rounds. And you said you weren't going to be impressed with Canelo no more if he didn't knock out Munguia.
Well, first of all, now you guys know who edits the videos. And this man's been lacking. Because you say you're going to find the clip and edit it in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So, anywho, second, as I was saying about Canelo's performance, the best way to put it, for those of you that know, we're looking at Laker LeBron James. This is no longer the Miami Heat LeBron where I used to dunk it. But what I mean by that, Canelo doesn't have that one-punch knockout power like he used to like that anymore. Because he landed a lot of blows, and he could have knocked out Munguia like we talked about. But maybe he was showing mercy. Maybe in his next
being overcautious.
In his next fight, maybe he will prove that he still got that nuclear strength to his power. That's what really kind of what lowers the grade for me a little bit, is because I was hoping that he would get the 10th round knockout-ish, like he would finish within 10. But he didn't. Instead, though, what I saw was a smarter Canelo, a more timing, patient Canelo, one that will come to you with the body blows. But he works the body a lot more than he used to. Maybe that was because the Styles made that kind of game plan against
Munguia. Slow him down.
Got to slow him down, because that young bull is coming at you with firepower.
It's fast too.
He doesn't roll the punches like he used to. He looked a little bit more slower. Like the twitchiness is died down a little bit. Because let's be honest here. I've said this before, and we'll say it again. We're not going to see Canelo go up anymore. No. It's either this We're going to see a slow burn.
But see, this kind of goes back to my overall argument about Canelo is that, like, kind of what you said, that, oh, if Canelo doesn't fucking, you know, knock out Munguia, I don't care, I'm not impressed, this is a piece of shit fight, right? And this is my argument about just boxers in general. It's like, why do you have to do that? And I told him, it's like, if Canelo goes 12 rounds and shows dominance, like, that's just as good as a knockout. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Canelo's dominance and what you just said yourself proves to me why Canelo's great. He knows how to adjust. No,
I never said
I'm not going to go to that argument.
I never said he's not great.
We had a long fucking argument.
And I didn't get uploaded.
At some point, that clip is gonna emerge, and you'll understand.
Now I'm gonna upload it because you guys want it.
It's gonna be on the lost files.
I know people are gonna be watching the video.
This is the definition of a great fighter.
Well,
it's the fact that what you said, we saw a different Canelo. He reinvented himself because he knows what he can't do anymore.
Which brings me back to, that's why I'm saying the LeBron comparisons, because LeBron, and even
he cries now. He cries too much now. What are we talking about? This is different.
Well, that's different. Canelo can cry because he's Mexican. But anywho,
I'm Mexican. I do what I want.
When you look at LeBron James, you look at a guy who's no longer athletic like he used to be. He can still yam it when he wants to, but he's turned into a better shooter. And that's what I mean about Canelo. Like his timing on his body blows, on once he figures out what kind of style you're coming with, he figures you out a lot more. And obviously the style has made the fight where Munguia's going to come at you, and that's what Canelo wants. Munguia likes a guy that's going to stay right there. Canelo likes a guy that's going to come at you. And it's sexual. And so that's why Canelo looked good, because at 33, he showed that he can adapt, even whatever age or how his body feels at this point. As far as Munguia goes, he looked like a star in the making. I mean, the dude showed that he can hang in there, basically with the best of the best of the best of the best.
A legend.
Which, you know, now to the naked eye, you're like, well, what would a fight with Plant look like? What would a fight with like a Berlanga look like? Boo Boo, you know? Benavidez already said he's not going back down to 168. He's done with 168 unless it's Canelo. We'll get to more on that in a little bit. But it just shows that Munguia's got a bright future if he can continue to adapt and add to his repertoire.
But I'd like kind of to add to your point of what you kind of just said, as far as Canelo goes. One thing I kind of noticed, I don't know if you guys have picked up on it, is that in this fight with Munguia and kind of Canelo's more recent fights, he's been relying a lot more on his guard. He doesn't rely on like straight up just dodging, rolling with the punches and reflexes as much as he used to. So I'm wondering if like this is kind of one of those adjustments where Canelo doesn't want to risk like trying to, you know, be a little flashy and taking punishment that he doesn't need, or this is kind of part of like his new game plan going forward. But this is kind of one of those little things that I picked up on that I'm kind of wondering, like if he does fight a Benavidez, how it might go with all that volume.
Well, here's why Benavidez and Canelo is such an intriguing fight. But like he said, Benavidez doesn't have that one punch knockout power, but he comes at you with like 50 punches a round. Like it's the volume, and we saw the first 3 rounds that gave Canelo a hard time. And that's really the selling point of this fight, is you got a fastball pitcher in Benavidez who likes to hunt you down versus a fastball slugger in Canelo who wants you to come at him, who invites the violence to come at him. Now, it's just a matter of, can Canelo's 30 punches a round beat out the 50 punches a round that Benavidez
was technically the same argument that was here in the Munguia fight that I kind of heard, you know, broadcasters talk about, was that, if Canelo can't knock out Munguia, is he going to be able to outbox him and outpoint him based on the amount of volumes, you know, that Munguia does? But
power punches.
I don't know if you guys saw, but Canelo fucking hit like over 50% of power punches, which the reason why I think that's very significant is that if you're beating the dude up, where's the volume?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And at that point, it's just, you know, little boppy, little weepy, you know, weaving, and then landing the right shots, and then now you're just outpointing him with your 30 punches. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that he landed that much fucking body, like power punches, is the reason why I don't think Munguia at the end of the day, like, had the ability to overwhelm him with, you know, punches. On top of the fact that I think once he felt Canelo's fucking power, like, there's no way that you can just keep going at him like that.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. I'm like, let's not forget that Canelo did knock Munguia down, and he did rock him a few times. Like, so it's not like Canelo's pillow hands now. Like, he could still drop you if you're not being careful. If you're on the chinnier side.
The thing about Canelo, and he said, it showed in the Bivol fight. Munguia kind of implemented, and I don't know if Benavidez kind of has this in his game plan, but if he adds to it, this is where it gets interesting. Canelo has problems when you're using the jab and you're not a stationary opponent. If you're going around and you're using your jab and giving Canelo fits, that's where he starts having problems with you.
Yeah.
So Benavidez,
I mean, who do you think has a better jab, Caleb Plant or Benavidez?
Caleb Plant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If Benavidez doesn't add to that,
yeah, like it's the fact that I think Canelo just has too much experience that it's hard for me to believe that Benavidez would do anything different than Munguia.
And let me just say this one thing that I'll give towards Munguia more than I would Benavidez. My biggest gripe with Benavidez, since he's gained all this momentum, has always been the fact that his defense is super lacking. And I think it especially showed when he fought Caleb Plant. Because when he fought Caleb Plant, this dude's face was getting pieced up, and Caleb Plant doesn't have knockout power. So that was one of my biggest gripes, and I think that even Munguia has a better defense than Benavidez does. So, that's just one of those things where I'm like, that kind of gives me more of an idea to lean into Canelo, unless, like Munguia, Benavidez makes some major improvements come fight night if he does get that fight against Canelo.
Here's the argument for that, though, and this is why I get so frustrated. Benavidez is only getting better because he's on the come up. Who's to say he doesn't improve on those things, and by the time this fight gets made, Benavidez has it figured out? You know what I'm saying?
But like that's to me, that's what makes this so much better, because if Canelo wins, that just made him that much greater.
But age is also a thing, man.
All I know is that fucking Bud Crawford became 2-time undisputed at 37.
Which leads into our next segue, because it's probably not going to be Benavidez next in September. It looks like Canelo's looking to fight 3 times again in a year, and it's looking like September he has a mandatory fight against Edgar Berlanga, which that in of itself is a conversation to be had, because ain't no way in hell you can tell me Canelo has to take the mandatory against Berlanga, and he deserved it more than when Benavidez was mandatory.
He's doing it because he has to.
He's doing it to spite Benavidez.
Well, that's one. I do believe that one.
Yeah.
I do believe that one. But 2, I go back to my argument. I think Canelo's waiting for Benavidez to do one more thing that's great. One more thing that's great. Because if Benavidez does one more thing that's great, that fucking fight is huge in May of 2025.
And
it becomes the legitimate.
Because think about it, like if Canelo beats Berlanga in September, even if he doesn't deserve it, even though he fucking, you know what I'm saying, like Berlanga really has nothing in his resume to say you deserve it. And I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. I can't defend that. But if it's for a bigger picture, with giving Benavidez time to build his own stock on his own, I just believe that that's the reason why he's doing it.
Yeah, but my whole thing is like, was the money worth Father Time keeping up with you?
If he loses,
that's what the talk is going to be once Benavidez. If Benavidez beats
once Benavidez,
well, I was going to say once the fight is made, but if Benavidez beats Canelo. That's really going to be one of the things. Like, well, Canelo was on.
Canelo didn't get.
I mean, that's the conversation, no matter what. Like, they're looking at put Benavidez as the passing of the torch. Munguia was supposed to be a passing of the torch. But that's what
one could argue that the story was passed on to Munguia because it was very similar to when Canelo fought Mayweather.
Yeah, that's fine. But you don't believe yourself that they're not going to say the same shit about Benavidez. And then next, after, if Benavidez wins or loses, now you gotta fight Munguia because Munguia is the new real Mexican fighter.
You mean a rematch with Munguia?
No,
Benavidez. Because the passing of the torch, technically, yes, you're right. In a way, was to Munguia that night. The respect was there. The fan base was there. Like, the same crowd that went crazy for Canelo is the same crowd that went crazy for Munguia. Like,
I wouldn't say a passing of the torch, but it was a passing of the knowledge.
That's what I'm saying.
The torch, Canelo still has it.
And it's like, Munguia is in the same position, that a fucking Tank Davis was a couple years ago, where it's like, hey, you take this. You take this and you make, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's there. Like, if now the Golden Boy moved him properly to get into this fight, now you gotta move him where he becomes a beast. He needs to take on names.
What's next for Munguia?
I think Munguia Berlanga is the only thing that makes sense.
But Berlanga's booked.
I know, but obviously we're not gonna see that. So I think beyond that, it has to be a Caleb Plant.
It ain't a Charlo.
Or Boo Boo.
It ain't a Charlo. He got arrested. And he got stripped, which...
Finally, 10 years later. Not the DUI. But getting stripped after 10 years, finally?
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
Granted, it is 160. It's not like it affects 168. But it's the fact that we now have one less piece on the chessboard.
Yeah.
For now.
Because I think you could make Munguia Plant. That's the next one.
Yeah, I think Munguia, if Munguia takes on Berlanga, whether it's before or after Canelo, and it takes on a Plant, right? I think Munguia's boogeyman is going to be Diego Pacheco.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
By that time,
like Diego Pacheco in the next year or two, he's gonna right now he doesn't have enough startup, but he's gonna be the morale to David.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
For Munguia,
I think it's just gonna be a matter of like when you're at the dance and then Canelo Berlanga's it's booked for September. Munguia and Plant are gonna be like, well, your op is now fighting my old op, so hey man, let's just fight each other.
Yeah.
So you know,
see, but to address what you said about if the fight were to happen next year, May, if Benavidez beats Canelo, honestly, I don't think anybody's gonna try to discredit Benavidez. If anything, it's more.
Oh my god, boxing fans are the most toxic people ever.
I feel like Canelo has so many haters that it's more likely that they'll try to discredit Canelo if he wins than the other way around. To be honest.
No, I think Canelo beating Benavidez will definitely solidify him as basically him.
I mean, at that point, he would be like every generational fighter now.
He'd be like one of those guys where like when we're with our great grandchildren, we'll be like, let me tell you the story of Canelo Alvarez. You know?
Oh, bro. You know, there's one thing that if for no other reason,
I want to hear from you.
If for no other reason, I want to see Canelo beat.
Together.
All right. Anyways,
he's like, what just happened?
Like, if for no other reason, why I want to see Canelo beat Benavidez is because I need to see what Delgado will say after that.
Our friend, by the way, the president of the Canelo Hate Fan Club.
Yeah, to him, Benavidez is the second coming of Jesus himself.
Look, brother, I don't know what Canelo did to you, man, but just tell us, and maybe we'll not do anything about it. But
maybe we'll joke about it.
Yeah. But as far as Berlanga goes, the reason we said, well, your op is fighting my op is because Berlanga and Plant also got into an altercation at the Canelo Munguia weigh-in. Apparently, I don't know what was said. I think
it was mainly Plant just saying like, hey, you should fight me in September. But Berlanga was like, well, if Canelo doesn't want to fight me, then I'll fight you. And then
Plant didn't take kindly to that.
Like,
I know what's Plan B.
Yeah, like Berlanga just started with like, I'm gonna knock you out.
But Plant's like, do it. Like he was saying,
he told him what's up there.
Like, and it's funny because I think Plant only had like one homie with him, and Berlanga's got his whole entourage with him.
I think Plant does this every single time.
Dude, Plant's about it.
He stands on business. I mean, we already saw what he did to Charlo, man. So
on a man-to-man level, I'm a fan of Plant. Yeah, on a man-to-man level, absolutely. That man stands up for his own and everybody around him. Yeah, but I guess it's just, I think Plant Munguia would be a fun fight. As far as Canelo, obviously, we talked about Berlanga being next in September, most likely. It's what came out the day after the fight.
A ver.
Tell these people about what His Excellency said.
A ver.
Who wants to see Canelo Crawford? In December or January?
The casuals. A certain fan base.
Look, I'm going to say something that maybe might even get us canceled.
I think this is more for Crawford, though. I think this is good for Crawford in the aspect that he can finally retire. He got paid, and he can move on.
Yes,
say he had a super fight
on a fighter level. Yes, but I'm about to say something that might get us canceled or might get us, talked about.
Some interesting views.
This fight isn't being asked by the boxing world. It's being asked by the fans around the world. Like, respective fan bases, Like, when you look at Mexico's best fighter, it's Canelo. When you look at America's best fighter, it's Crawford. And the media here in America is pushing that narrative. You saw Aaron Helwani push for it. You saw ESPN push for it. I'm surprised Stephen A. Smith has said he doesn't want it.
If you go into the conversation of a pound-for-pound boxer, and you're talking about the number one pound-for-pound boxer, where technically Canelo and him are similar sizes, you're literally talking about that Crawford moves up to Canelo's weight class, pound for pound, he should technically have a chance to beat Canelo.
It's going to be a pound for pound supremacy fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably like the only real narrative here is that for years,
that's
the pound
literally
for pound rankings, people have been arguing like, oh, Bud is over Canelo.
Because
Canelo's
like
over
that's
Bud.
as close as it gets. If you look at the pound for pound rankings, you got Bud, Canelo, Inoue, then you got Usyk.
I'll say this. I'll clarify this real quick. For everybody saying, oh, he's going to jump up 3 classes. No, he's jumping up 2 classes because by the time that fight happens, Crawford will already have a fight at 154. So it's not a 3-weight jump. All right. Technically, by then, it's a 2-weight jump. True. So I don't want to hear that, Delgado. Because that's just a fact of it.
Plus, Bud is he's been begging for this fight.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I'm saying. I think if you're a Bud fan, which again, like he's 38. Like he's gonna be 38 by then. Like it's a good retirement.
If you're a Bud fan, you hate Bud because you're begging for this man to get knocked out.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're begging for Bud to prove to himself that he is great. That's it. That's all it is. And then Canelo can just move on from that. Like at the end of the day, like no matter what, like yeah, Canelo beat a pound for pound #1 fighter in his prime.
Yeah.
Canelo beat a second undisputed fighter in his prime. You know what I'm saying? Like how many pound for pound fighters do you see fighting each other, or how many undisputed fighters do you see fighting each other? Like that's the narrative. Like
actually, that'd be the second undisputed.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's just
if he has belts.
No matter what, he's been 2-time undisputed.
Yeah.
No matter what, Charlo was an undisputed fighter. Like that's just what the facts are.
That's just. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, Bud has nothing to lose taking this fight, and then if Canelo
gives no fucks no more on what fucking the Julios and fucking the Delgados of the world have to say.
I mean, it's just another name to add on the resume.
100%.
So it's like,
that's the way.
Am I against the fight? No.
Yes.
No, I'm not against the fight.
You just said that.
I'm against the timing of the fight.
Yes. Because I have said this. Like I would wish this would have become Benavidez first and then do this, because after that you could have gone to the Jake Paul fight. Just kidding.
Yeah, X Series boys.
X video?
We can neither confirm nor deny.
I mean, sure, I guess Canelo Crawford's in December, January, or whatever. It's just a fun fight.
Look, if this is His Excellency's idea, I'm gonna have Benavidez fight either Bivol or Beterbiev, and then it's like have a placeholder fight for Canelo. After that, it's only a matter of time before His Excellency says, "Hey, both these guys won their fights, fight each other."
Well, that's a long game.
You tell
Absolutely.
me. You tell me, right?
Yes.
Because obviously we haven't talked to you, fam people, but it's a little bit of a late news. But let's talk about it. Obviously, at this point, everybody knows that Bivol Beterbiev has been postponed.
Yes.
And what did I say?
If you don't know, now you know.
And what did I say the moment that shit came out? This is Benavidez' opportunity to fucking step in.
Yep.
You want that fight sooner? Why doesn't Benavidez just step in for fucking Beterbiev, fight Bivol?
You think
That's the
No, I don't think. I'm saying.
you think Bivol's manager's gonna want to put Bivol in that kind of situation against a Benavidez and jeopardize the fight with Bivol and Beterbiev?
Money talks.
Money talks.
Money
But
talks.
He's gonna fight Bivol regardless.
Who?
Benavidez.
I don't know Bivol regardless, but the winner of Bivol Beterbiev.
But yeah, exactly. So it's
Because
kind of.
Turkey Alakishi already said that he was gonna.
How do you say his name? That was elegant. I have a hard time with it. Turkey Alakishi.
Alakishi. We already know that he got offered the fucking cash to fight the winner.
Yeah.
I mean, you can skip the line a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're gonna put a replacement in there for Bivol, might as well be Benavidez.
Oh, 100%.
Might as well be Benavidez.
You gotta keep the hype up for the event.
Yeah.
If you're putting that
I don't
much
think
money out
entertainment wants to take out the ticket earner from the tank card though.
I mean, we gotta figure something out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets paid if Benavidez goes and fights Bivol.
That's yeah.
So there's money to be made. I don't care what you're saying about managers. If the manager's getting paid and he doesn't have to be in the fucking ring, believe me, he wants to get paid.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's the promoter game. When it comes to that.
Promoters get paid too.
I don't think Al Heyman.
All I'm saying is, if you don't risk it in life, you win nothing. If he beats Bivol, he did something Canelo never
You
has.
don't risk it in life, you win nothing.
Bars.
Tell Big Red to risk it.
He has. That's why he's where he's at in life.
Really,
He started fucking from the streets. from the streets.
He had 100 fights before he even started boxing.
100%.
And he's Mexican.
And I'm Mexican, motherfucker.
But in great news, guys, Ryan Garcia is getting cleared.
That's true.
Well, from one.
From one of his.
Let's make it clear.
Hey,
from one.
that's good enough to
But not the Austrian.
fucking go running.
Let's call it what it is. The one that he popped for was a
Fat
fucking
burger.
rhino pill. You know, if you know, you know. This man's been busy. Like,
You know.
he's been having some fun out there.
I like having fun too.
But the performance enhancement out inside of the ring, not outside of the ring, is the one that got cleared.
But yeah. So, what do you think, Louis?
I mean, good for Garcia.
You're the boxing man who has no biasness. What do you think?
I mean, good for Garcia as long as he goes and clears his name off the second one.
So, if his name is cleared out of everything, how does that make Haney look at after he was saying all that shit that fucking something was off and I've never gotten my ass kicked like this? How does that age? Does that age well?
It makes him look like a whiny bitch. You know?
Ooh.
Like, let's call it what it is.
Yeah. I mean,
And like the fact that his whole team is pushing really hard for that
For the narrative. Yeah.
that part is really stupid.
I mean, they
Really
look like, what's that word?
sorry losers.
Sore losers.
Losers.
Sore losers, but there's another word of it. It's you're being
Entitled?
a martyr.
A martyr.
You're being a martyr. That's what he'd be.
I like the word sore losers. I think the fans understand that word.
It's like it's basically he's trying to find any excuse for that loss.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, for what?
Get over it.
Take it on the chin.
Get over it and go fight.
No, dude.
I'm like, you robbed Loma. Nobody's saying
Senator
anything.
Martin, I guess.
Senator Martin.
But speaking of,
No Diddy. Shit, that's stupid.
that was last weekend. Then there's this weekend, and we have a very under the radar clash coming up between both of Teofimo's daddies. And if you know that throwback.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go again.
Vasily Lomachenko versus George Gambosos this weekend.
The unbiased boxing commentator over
When it
here.
comes, when it comes to Teofimo, that's it. The gloves are off. It's bare knuckle at that point.
Bare knuckle.
Shout out to Mike Perry.
I feel bad for Teofimo because he's probably just sitting in his corner somewhere in his house, with his dad hugging him, saying, "Oh, I just don't want to see my stepdad and my other dad fight." Who wins and why?
Lomachenko, because he is still great.
Even at 37?
Here we go with the age again.
No. I'm asking.
Because did he look any slower against Haney?
No.
You even thought Haney lost?
I did.
Yes.
I'm not saying the age. I'm asking you, even at
You
37.
did say the age.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you don't think now that he's older, it's going to affect him?
No. I think I agree with Milton that's going to be Loma, and I think an elite level fighter of Loma's caliber is going to make adjustments like a Canelo can.
Yeah, like I think at this point, based on Cambose's style, like he's not a better boxer than Loma, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Gee, he sure loves to buckle down in the middle like Haney does.
yeah, but that's just volume punching, you know what I'm saying? But when Haney was outboxing him, that's all he was doing. He was trying to keep Haney in the middle, and Loma, I think, has too much good footwork and these fancy little, fucking corners.
Yeah.
I think Loma will win by decision.
Yes.
I think he'll probably get a knockdown or two.
Yeah, I was going to say, he also has more power than Haney does, too.
But I think Gambosos is just going to be, it's typical both. Gambosos is going to be an accomplished Gabriel Rosado in his career.
Yeah, I can see that.
Not that bad. I don't think he's lost that bad.
No, but he's a fan favorite because he's a dog. He'll come in, he'll bring the fight.
He'll keep it interesting.
Yeah, he's a name, almost like a Danny Jacobs, but more accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
So I got Loma. The question will be, and it's inevitable, what's next for Loma if he wins?
Shakur.
I think Shakur is the boogeyman in that division now because
Tank's not gonna. Maybe Tank at this point will fight Loma. I think
if Loma looks great, he's not going to fight.
Even though that fight should have happened years ago.
Which, I don't know if you guys saw that fucking Tank's people are saying that if Shakur wants to fight Tank, they want him to sign with PBC. Apparently that's the only way Tank is gonna fight PBC. Fight Shakur.
You know,
and Shakur was like, okay, so I signed with PBC, right? How many fights till you actually give me a Tank fight, though? That's what he said. Because if you're gonna make me fight 6 other fighters before I fight Tank, then that makes no sense.
Smart.
Well, Shakur knows what's up. He knows the game. And if you're somebody like Al Heyman, you're just going like, hey, that's my boy right there, trying to get Shakur on here.
Yeah.
You know.
So PBC's trying to fucking sign Shakur to apparently have a Tank fight, but how many fights in between have to happen before Shakur actually gets Tank?
Well, they'll probably throw in Frank Martin. They'll probably throw him
Rayo.
Pitbull. They'll probably throw him Rayo. They'll probably throw him
Rolly.
You know, they'll probably throw him
Loma.
No, but that's with Top Rank.
Oh, that's
They're still gonna try to find a way to throw him.
Tank.
And then we'll have Shakur Tank in 2035.
Hey man, but y'all are missing.
So what you're saying is there's a chance.
I hate Tank sexual so bad.
Hey, Tank come on that ass, bro. Come on.
No
Tank
Diddy.
comes on that ass. No Diddy.
No Diddy. But I think this is logical too. The next 2 fights is probably gonna be Shakur or Tank, and if I have to put my money on it, it'll probably be Shakur.
Yeah, because they need Shakur to get a real fighter in there.
And then Tank will call out the loser of that fight.
Yes,
I believe it.
That's the Tank cycle, you know.
Abdul Wahid. Which, if this hypothetical Loma versus Shakur fight happens, what do you guys got?
I really need to see how he looks against Gambosos, but as of this point in time, I think I have Shakur by split decision.
he knows how to run faster.
He's on the bicycle.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the man that held the record for the least punches thrown for like a week.
God.
So let's not forget that. But I don't think Loma would let that happen either.
Nah, Loma's a little too clever for that.
And I don't care what anybody says. Loma fought in the war. Okay? The hero of my eyes.
He's out on the field. Purple Hearts.
Switching gears up from the ring.